Welcome everyone. This is Michael Venezia. I am the head trader here at Tradeview Markets. Today what I'd like to talk about are three different stock situations that are basically mutually exclusive of what the market is doing, and we'll use the SPYs as an index or a gauge for what we're talking about. The markets, the Nikkei's at a 15-year high. The Shanghai Composites probably literally having the wildest moves out there. Forget about the currency and the bond markets. But, here we are at, the American indices were across the board at at all-time highs. We're a little bit off on the Russell and the NASDAQ, but here we are on the spiders, or the S&P, if you will. And one trader said this is the quietest all-time highs he's ever seen. But you know what? Well, I'm going to show you a couple of charts here, and you don't have to worry about except that the trend is your friend and never short a dull market, but it's actually going on now. But let's look at three specific situations that you don't have to worry about the market, and they've been acting well against the market. So here we go is a yearly chart of the SPYs. You can see from the beginning of April we probably had between a 3 and a 5% range, but no one can deny that the trend is upward. Once again, not to be redundant, the trend is your friend. Okay, here's the SPYs. Now let's look at a favorite, a cult stock if you will. It's been in the news, one of the best charts out there, and it's worked, and that's Netflix. Here you go back into April. Netflix has been pretty volatile. It's in the news a lot. There you have 500. It broke out right here. Triple volume. It based, pulled back $5. There's 560 right here to 596 to 620. Now I understand that it's a $600 stock. And maybe not, you don't want to play it that much, but it's the same thing as having 4,000 Hewlett-Packard. So this is something you have to be aware of. This stock broke out. People like to trade it. Everybody's getting killed shorting it. So that's a chart. Then you know what? This could be Alcoa, although I don't think Alcoa is going to ever see 600 again, but that's a chart you can be aware of. On the flip side, here's a stock, Green Mountain Coffee, that's done the complete opposite of what I just showed you on the SPYs. It broke right here. Big volume. So it's out of favor right now. As the market back in January is still breaking highs. It broke again, boom, volume again. Okay, so let's go to what happened now. The stock went from, in the beginning of May, from 116 to 103 in an up market again. There you go with the volume. Went up a little bit right here, never filled the gap. Right here, the past 4 days, you have the market going up every day, if you will. And the stock, Green Mountain Coffee, with material news, range and volume, went from 98 to 89. Now, some people might think they may miss the meat of the trade, but you didn't. You know what? Because when the market is going up, it's good to have a short. And yes, everybody's afraid of getting short squeezed when we're in an uptrending market, but you know what? Sometimes they work, and this time it did. Let's look at another one, SRPT. The stock had news a couple of days ago. It's a biotech. Now, I've given a couple of webcasts and some videos about resumption trades, and this is something you have to keep on your radar for a stock that normally trades 1 million shares a day, that traded 20 million 3 days ago, and had a range from $18 all the way to 27. It had a resting day right here. I know a lot of people that went out and took the stock long. I'm not saying they added to the longs. Everybody does what they do. It's not my thing. But certainly a hot stock stays hot for a couple of days. So you have to be aware of that. And the same thing happened today with ONTY. This stock right here will go in from nowhere. It's from $3.50. It was down to $1, $2. Didn't even have a breath of life the whole year. Stock pops with volume. Goes from $1.50 to $2.75 on 22 million. Today it traded 20 million, has a range from 350 to 275. I mean, this is a good stock to trade. There has no rhyme or reason. You have to do a little bit of research, but it is what it is. And for those of you who have been watching the webcast, not to tell you, look what happened to the lumber liquidators right here. We've been on this, and the CEO left yesterday. It had a little bit of a bounce, but, it's yet to be seen what goes on here. So that's about it. But until then, here's the market on the SPYs. That's where we sit. There's a lot of good action. Until then, we have a holiday weekend. There's going to be thin trading. Oil markets have been very active. But until then, just do your homework. You don't have to be a hero and try to pick stocks and say, oh, I got it. Just play what's in play and stick with what's working. Put the ego aside and just ring the register. Until then, everybody have a good day. Do your homework and trade well. And thank you.